Spring it on with 40 to 70% off almost everything at Gap Factory and gapfactory.com. Matching styles for the family are on sale too. Shop it all through April 12th.
Well, before we get started today, this episode is brought to you by Charger Bolt Family, an amazing group that is helping out Chargers fans all over the country and the world get all of their memorabilia from all of their favorite players on this Chargers team, whether it is Justin Herbert, Dan Fouts, Kenneth Murray, Derwin James, you name it, Jake. Anyone that the Chargers have on their team, Charger Bolt Family is working on getting memorabilia signed. They have all kinds of giveaways. They've got raffles. Check them out on Facebook, Charger Bolt Family. They're also on Instagram as well. Jake, if you had to get one memorabilia signed from one Charger, current or past, who would it be?
You know, I don't have anything signed from LT. I have a football signed by Phillip Rivers. I always wanted to get something signed by Antonio Gates. Unfortunately, I still remember the closest I got to getting LT signing something was LT, and it was the first year that, what was it? It was years ago at training camp, but it was right after practice was done. LT was making a beeline toward the fans, and literally just so happened to be right where I was standing. And of course, the floods and floods and floods of people just somehow just dramatically, naturally just kind of shift your position a little bit. And then I slowly just watched LT just veer to the right, veer to the right, veer to the right. And then it just kept going that direction. And I was never able to get something. So yeah, it'd probably be LT.
LT. Well, actually, they just had a signing with LT. So he will probably be coming again soon. So maybe when we get him, I will let you know, Jake. But you'll know before me, most likely. Folks who are looking for memorabilia for the Chargers, check them out. Charger Bolt Family on Facebook and on Instagram. Tell them that Dan and Jake sent you from Chargers Unleashed. Tell Ken we said hello. Charger Bolt Family, they're incredible. Check them out. Awesome group for Chargers community worldwide.
Welcome to Chargers Unleashed. Jake Hefner and Dan Wolkenstein here with you from the LA Football Network. Dan, we got a very, very special guest joining the show today. But before we even start talking about said individual, how are you doing today, sir?
Man, I am good. The sun is shining here in Southern California. We've had a crazy last few months, few weeks, few days. And we're just going to keep riding this high. Not going to lie. I'm going to use that again.
Is that going to be a thing now?
No, I honestly...
I saw that comment on Twitter. I know you mentioned that little phrase of yours during our 100th episode. But is that going to turn into like your Walter Cronkite catchphrase now?
I hope not. It just slipped off the tongue.
I really hope not either.
I know. I
really hope not either. At least if you're going to do it, just pick one word and then every week, just pick another word to rhyme with it.
Benchmark! And then go on another word.
Lobster bisque.
There we go. Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
All right, fine. For those who have not been here or seen us before, welcome to Chargers Unleashed. You can find us on Twitter, on YouTube. On Twitter, you can find us at LAC_Unleashed. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find Jake, my dear friend over here, at Jake T. Hefner. On Twitter, myself, at Chargers Homer. Jake, you mentioned it just a second ago. We have eclipsed the 100th episode mark. How does that make you feel?
It finally happened. It was kind of as it got closer to the draft, I knew it was coming. And I kind of thought to myself, I said, did we record 100 episodes already? And it turns out we didn't. And then the schedule release, I know we forgot to mention it in there. That was actually our 100th episode, which is, it's insane. So a little over a year of partnering with you and doing this show and this podcast. And it's been a good little ride.
Look at us. I got a few more gray hairs, not because of you, but because of the Chargers.
Some people got gray hairs from me. I guarantee it.
Okay, that's fair. So we have a fun show today. You mentioned it, special guest. Chargers have had a pretty good draft haul. I think people have realized. We just got done talking with our friend Asante Samuel Jr. If you haven't got a chance to listen to that, go listen, watch. He was amazing. But Jake, today we get to talk to another one friend of the show, the 97th overall pick of the 2021 NFL Draft from Georgia, Mr. Tre McKitty is joining us on Chargers Unleashed today. How you feeling about this?
Excited about this one. This was one of the more, I don't want to say, I'm trying to make it. I'm just trying to make it, I guess, not even to say as much questionable, but I think this is one that a lot of Chargers fans and players would probably just want to know more about Tre McKitty in this situation. True. Because, he wasn't a guy that put up huge stats at Georgia, but the athleticism and the base of talent that the Chargers saw in him in the third round, where they really feel like they can unlock, and in a tight end class that currently houses, now including Tre McKitty, now 4 on the roster, but you don't know what's going to happen with Jared Cook beyond his 1-year deal. My guess is that he won't last beyond the 1-year deal with this roster. If Donald Parham does not end up being what you thought he was 2 years ago, maybe you go beyond that. You could actually be in a position here to start the 2022 season where Tre McKitty is your number 2 tight end.
It's pretty wild. I think a lot of folks knew that the Chargers needed to get a tight end specifically for blocking. And they honestly, I think, got one of the best run blocking tight ends in this draft class. You mentioned it, not a ton of production, not his fault due to the quarterback play, due to the scheme. But man, Tre McKitty's got a lot of people excited.
Made some great catches during senior week.
Dude, he was balling. He was mauling people during senior week. I saw a few one-handed grabs. I was like, oh, okay, I see you, Tre. So we'll be having Tre McKitty coming up on Chargers Unleashed. So folks, don't wait any longer. Here is our conversation with the newest Los Angeles Charger from Georgia, Tre McKitty, the tight end on the Los Angeles Chargers.
Coming up next. With the 97th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Tre McKitty, tight end, Georgia.
Well, we have had quite the offseason with lots of buzz and excitement around this Chargers team, so we figured we'd just keep that excitement rolling on today's Chargers Unleashed, because we have a very, very special guest joining the show today. Newly signed member of the Los Angeles Chargers, the 97th pick overall of the 2021 NFL Draft, one of 2 Georgia Bulldogs drafted by the Chargers, one of the more athletic cats at his position coming out of the draft. On Twitter, you can find him at T_McKitty. Bradenton, Florida's own Mr. Tre McKitty. Tre, thank you for coming on to Chargers Unleashed. How are those Cali vibes treating you so far?
Thanks for having me. And so far, so good. The weather's been great these last couple of days, so enjoying it.
There we go. Now, we're going to talk about all kinds of topics today. We're going to talk about the new coaching staff, the tight end group, your time at Georgia and Florida State, what you bring to this Chargers team, maybe get into some rapid-fire questions, who knows. But first, what was it like on draft day? What was going through your mind as day 2 started when you eventually got your name called by the Chargers in the 3rd round at 97?
Right. At the beginning of the day, I was kind of, relaxed, try to, keep my nerves at ease. But as I got towards later in the day where I knew I can go in the 3rd round, the anxiety started kicking a little bit. And, when my phone finally rang, my heart just dropped. I just saw LA on the caller ID. So, I was excited. It was a great moment. Definitely not won't forget.
When you saw the area code for LA, what was your immediate thought?
I was surprised first because I really didn't have an idea that I was coming out here. But because I was watching it obviously and saw they had a pick coming up. So I just got really excited as soon as the phone rang. So.
Okay, so you got picked. What was it like afterwards? What was that night like? Bring us into your circle. How'd you celebrate? Who was with you? What was on the food? What was your thoughts before you went to bed?
Right. So I was just with my family and close friends. And that, right after it happened, I ran around the house screaming and whatever, but I had to do media. So I was trying to do media in a Zoom call, and I was getting a million phone calls back to back to back to back. It ended up logging me out of my my interview at the time actually. But
oh no,
after that, really just hung out with the family. It was it's still, even today, like, it still hits me in spurts. Like, it just feels so real that, surreal that I'm here and, still trying to enjoy it.
And what did you have for food? That's the most important question.
I didn't even eat anything after that. I was too excited to eat. I didn't eat anything after.
All right, fair enough.
Now, Tre, when you were let's go back to Georgia for a second. When you were at Georgia, your number was called. You balled out and executed well when you were called upon. And although you weren't necessarily the focal point of the offense, you showed up and balled out when your number was called. So how do you feel that your experience at Georgia set you up for NFL success?
Really, I think my whole college experience kind of set me up. I got to play a lot of ball at Florida State, and then just transitioning to a new system at Georgia, I think really just helped me, I had to transition to a new offense here. So I really just all the coaching changes I had at Florida State and all the different times I've had to learn new offenses and things going to help me, moving forward in the NFL. At Georgia this past year, our offensive coordinator was a pro guy too. So, kind of getting used to that. Yeah.
Now let's step away from football for a second. Off the field, who is Tre McKitty? What are some of your passions or maybe some things about you that folks might not know about?
Definitely a passion. I'm a pilot. I do some flying when I have the time. I want to continue doing that moving forward. And also, I'm a huge car guy. I enjoy cars, Formula One racing, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's me off the field.
Got it. Do you have any destination dreams that you want to fly to?
Fly myself to?
Yes, sir.
There's so many places I want to go. As soon as I get some time on my hands, I'm leaving the country immediately.
Nice open-ended question there, Dan.
Yep. Right. Hey, look, I mean, it's COVID. I know everyone's just itching to get anywhere, and now you got a nice contract. You got some coin. You can go literally anywhere you want.
Man, I'll fly to Fresno right now if they would allow me to.
I'm probably gonna head to Germany first. I want to drive in the Autobahn.
Nice.
There you go. Dog, that'd be awesome. Now, Brandon Staley, we heard him talk about it on the press conference, and we heard him talk to you when you actually got the call. Talked a ton about your versatility you bring into the game, being able to line up on the line, able to get spread out wide as a receiver. You're a great, excellent run blocker. We've heard a lot of things that you do really well. But from your perspective, what would you say maybe is your biggest strength? And then on the flip side, what would be maybe the biggest opportunity for improvement that you want to improve on in your game?
Definitely my biggest strength, I think, is, I would say, like, my football IQ, the ability to pick up the game, and also just that versatility he was talking about, just, my ability to do both well in the running game and the passing game. And then something that, I have the most opportunity to improve on. I would say just a little bit of everything, just like consistency, every aspect of my game, make sure to keep my hands tight in the run game and, take as least steps as possible, come out of breaks and things like that. So just, continuing to be consistent in my play and getting better every day at that.
Awesome. Now, what do you see yourself bringing to this Chargers tight end group? There's a lot of guys already on the squad. I think you're kind of bringing a different skill set, but what do you maybe bring to this group that maybe folks are sleeping on? Maybe folks don't necessarily realize you're bringing to the group.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I mean, right now, just coming in, bringing a good attitude, ready to work. I know we got a vet in Jared Cook. I want to learn as much as I can from a guy like him. So I'm just really excited to work with the group.
Now, I know that this is obviously a fresh, new experience for you, Tre, and obviously it's kind of been a whirlwind over the last couple of weeks from getting drafted to now, obviously, you're in Chargers camp there. But in between all this time, is there any fun stories or relationships that you've built up in this quick period of time since coming out to LA and obviously being part of mini camps?
Well, a few guys on the team I already knew prior to coming out here. So talking to those guys, I know Tyree St. Louis, Gabe Neighbors, Sante Samuel, and Derwin James. But the rookie class is coming in now together. We've actually kind of clicked really well so far. So getting along with those guys at the hotel has been cool.
I know the obvious answer would be you're just looking forward to playing games in 2021. But just for you personally, What is it that you're looking forward to the most this upcoming season?
I mean, just basically, I guess besides what you said, I guess certain matchups, I mean, these guys that I'm going to be playing against, I've been watching on TV, my whole life, and I get to, be on the field with them, share the same field, and, go to work. I'm super excited for that opportunity.
Now, you mentioned all the rookies are gelling really well. Talk to us about some of the personality. I know Asante Samuel Jr. We actually had him on the show recently. Who's the funniest? Who's the biggest personality? Tell us some insider stories.
Definitely Chris Rump and Mark Webb. Both of those guys are similar as far as like the jokesters. And then I think other guys have said a lot more. I got to work out with Chris in off-season training, and I was at Georgia with Mark, so I know how those guys operate. And those are probably the biggest clowns on the team so far.
I love it. Awesome. Well, we are going to put you on the hot seat here a little bit. You ready for some rapid fire questions as we finish out the segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. We're talking to Tre McKitty, the newest Los Angeles Chargers tight end. All right, rapid fire. Here we go. Music. What is on Tre McKitty's pre-game playlist?
Drake.
Just Drake.
Drake, yeah.
There it is. All right. Next category, food. You're stuck on an island with an endless food supply from your favorite restaurant. What restaurant are you picking, and what food are they serving you?
It's supposed to be rapid, right? I'm gonna go Capitol Grill.
Ooh, and what do you get? What are you getting? What beef?
Porterhouse. I gotta get the lobster bisque too.
Yes. Woo. Just imagine after a few days of having porterhouse and lobster bisque, you might not be feeling too good on that island.
Right.
All right. You mentioned it earlier about the guys you're looking forward to going up against. I'll put you in a spot here. Toughest defender you had to go up against in college, and one you are most looking forward to going up against in the NFL.
I think the guys that I was with at my school, like at Florida State, I had to go against Brian Burns every day in practice out in Carolina. So he's a baller. Azeez Ojolari at Georgia. What was the second part of the question?
Second part of the question was, who are you most looking forward to going up against on defense in the NFL? Call your shot. Yeah,
I don't know whether to choose like a defensive lineman or a safety, like as far as if I'm going against them as running routes or blocking. So I don't know. Week one, I got a pretty good matchup on the D-line as a guy that's pretty good out there on the end. I mean, I'm looking forward to week one right now. So, yeah.
Nice. Now, you kind of already touched on this just a second ago, Tre, talking about the favorite personalities of your teammates thus far. How about a coach? Outside of Kevin, is there a coach that you've kind of gelled with personality-wise a little bit?
I'll say Arthur, the play development guy. He's not really like a on-field coach, but just definitely someone that I've joked around a little bit so far, and he was a cool guy.
Nice. And Dan, since you just so happened to jack the part of the question that I was supposed to ask him as far as the defender in the NFL, I'm going to take this last one for Tre. My personal favorite question: preferred movie genre, Tre, horror or comedy, or is it secret answer C and something completely different?
So is it so I get to choose something different than horror comedy?
If you want to, yeah, it's yours.
I'm gonna say action comedy. Something that's, I like a shoot 'em up movie, but I also like to laugh. So
nice.
But I do like the suspense of horror. I'm a movie guy anyway, so it's all for me. Whatever.
Action comedy. Which one are you picking? What movie?
Depends on my. Oh, what movie? Django.
Nice. Mic drop moment for Tre McKitty. I love it. Tre, thank you so much for joining. We are off the hot seat. You have made it through the rapid fire round. You're in LA. I believe you just signed your contract. You've not yet. Oh, okay. Coming soon. When you do, What's the first thing you're wanting to purchase?
Like first big purchase or like
It could be a Big Mac. It could be a Big Mac if you want it to be.
No, I'm definitely gonna find one of the good steakhouses out here in LA and go celebrate the good steak and some wine.
There you go. Tre, thank you so much for joining us on Chargers Unleashed. What does the next few weeks look like for you? Where can everybody follow you?
Shoot, I'm gonna be out here working.
There you go. Hey, Tre, thank you so much for joining us on Chargers Unleashed. This has been a pleasure. Congratulations on being selected by the Chargers in round 3. Can't wait to see you ball out. Again, you can find Tre on Twitter. You can find him at T_McKitty. Tre, thank you again. We'll talk to you soon. Don't be a stranger. You are a friend of the show. Welcome anytime, my friend.
Thank you, Tre.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much, Tre. Talk to you soon. Well, that was our discussion with Tre McKitty, the 97th overall pick for the Los Angeles Chargers and your new tight end on this team. Had a blast with Tre. Special shout out to Tre. He's going to ball out. Can't wait to see what he does this year. Again, follow us at LAC_Unleashed on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, you name it. Subscribe, leave us a review if you feel we deserve it. This episode was brought to you by Manscaped. Save 20%, use the code UNLEASHED, get free shipping. Check everyone out. Garrison Brothers, Brewery X, and of course, Charger Bolt family. We'll see you next time on Chargers Unleashed.